Let's go back now to Funzi Ngobeni, the provincial chairperson in Gauteng for the political party ActionSA, around the situation in Hammanskraal and the problems with water there. Mr. Ngobeni, good afternoon to you. You've been very involved in this situation. Both the mayor and the minister believe that there'll be water coming out of taps in September. Do you believe them?
Stephen, we note that with caution. We note that with caution, considering all the shenanigans that has happened in the past. We will be, obviously, we've got a caucus, a very strong caucus, and we now have a deputy mayor as well in that Tshwane municipality, and we will be monitoring the progress on this because we have seen this movie before, and where procurement didn't happen properly, people were given contract when they didn't qualify to be able to do that work. And we're hoping that lessons have been learned, people have been held accountable, and now we're going to see this program being completed by the set date of September, as the minister and the team are promising. So we'll monitor this and see what happens. But we are happy with for the people of Hammanskraal that there is sort of a light at the end of the tunnel, but we must not let our guards down.
The mayor seems to be very worried about the prospect of sabotage. He suggests that people in the water tanker industry might sabotage the packaging plant, that's the temporary plant that's being set up, because once it's working they wouldn't be able to make any money. And this has been a consistent claim in Tshwane, that there are sort of tanking groups that do that. Do you believe that there is evidence of these groups?
Well, we have had those allegations, not only from the mayor but from the community as well. That in Hammanskraal, I think, Stephen, we need to say to the mayor and the team that we are not a lawless country. Yes, we have elements of criminality that keeps on lifting their heads. I think they need to take precautions now that they know that this threat exists and this risk it's imminent. They need to engage with the South African Police Service. They must engage with their own Metro Police. They must work with the communities in that area. In terms of the CPF and the patrollers, it's going to take a joint effort to eliminate this criminality that seems to be existing. We shouldn't throw hands in the air and say no, we can't do anything. But we must do this for the benefit of the residents, innocent people who want to just have water in their taps. I think all means must be explored, and I hope that the minister himself, at the national level, will encourage and speak to his counterparts in the police service there to help the city of Tshwane to deal with any criminality that intends to stop this program from unfolding.
There's such a long history about this. There's been investigations into other tenders. There have been problems for a long time. Now it seems we have problems with the tanker industry, if it is indeed them. There seem to be so many people who are trying to stop this from happening. I mean, is there one group of people who can be blamed? Is it just a confluence of factors? I mean, why has it taken so long to fix this?
Yeah, Stephen, I think it's really a culmination of the corruption that has been allowed to really continue unabated in our country. And I think this particular program will not be the only one that is facing these problems. Across the country, we see business forums and people that are calling themselves construction mafias emerging and wanting to derail any program that is happening. And law enforcement and intelligence in this country has failed to actually nip that in the bud. And people have made now a career out of criminality, stopping construction programs, intimidating municipalities and contractors. I think really we need to take charge of our country and bring back the rule of law, as it were. So there must not be any gap for criminals to really exist, and that can only be done if we join hands, as law enforcement agencies from all the spheres of government, from local, provincial, and national. They must bring all their expertise on the table to deal with these matters. And I think if there is a political will, this can be done. We know that these criminals are not operating in isolation. They are working side by side with officials in municipalities, in government, but they are also working with politicians who are protecting them from accountability. So all these elements, they need to be uprooted, and that can only happen, if there is a leadership at the top that is willing to deal with these matters.
You're in a coalition with the DA in Tshwane. That's one of the reasons you have a deputy mayor in Tshwane. It was the DA mayor who was there yesterday, and the minister, Senzo Mchunu, of course, comes from the ANC. There's an election soon. I don't know if you've noticed, Mr. Ngobeni. Within all of that, can these arms of government work together even though they're led by people from different parties?
I personally think they can, Stephen. The other person or other figure that was there yesterday was the MEC of Corporate Governance in the province of Gauteng. That department is quite critical. They have an obligation, constitutional obligation, of ensuring that there is intergovernmental relations that exist, that is quality, that is not partisan, that embodies honesty. That department can be able to rope in expertise from various quarters, whether in the private sector or even from national treasury, and bring it closer to local government to assist them in ensuring that this type of projects are completed and are completed within time and within budget. So we're looking forward to that department of COGTA doing its particular work. As ActionSA, we are looking at that department, for example, when we take power after the 29th of May, of ensuring that this department is the one that stabilizes municipalities, by bringing expertise, but while also holding municipalities accountable. I think the era of buddies, because you are an ANC provincial government and there is a local government that also is ANC run, you then ignore the mess that is happening there. It's over. We need to hold each other accountable. We need to allow officials and experts to be the one that leads us with data that can be able to show that what we can do. So I think it's possible, Stephen. It just needs proper leadership. It needs people who really love their country, who are patriotic at heart, that understands the suffering of people at the ground if things do not happen. I think that government, it's now about to take over on the 29th of May, and we're looking forward to people voting for ActionSA so that we can be able to get Gauteng in order.
It's a long campaign trail, Funzi Ngobeni. I look forward to you slipping more campaign messages in to our conversations. Thank you very much.